And to print something, we just have to write println hello world. Unlike Java, we have to write system.out.println. So we get a little bit advantage of coding low and performance over Java. Okay, so here are some hello world stuff. Can somebody else point out anything you love, anything that is much favorable than Java in Kotlin? Uh, I mean to say anything that benefits you about Kotlin than Java, apart from short syntax and all that stuff. No semicolon, exactly. One more thing. And anything else? Yeah, user friendly.
Harsh?
Yeah, I want to say that like yeah, I don't know more about Java, but I have learned C++. Then it is some template like in C++, we have to declare the data type integer, string, or
Exactly, exactly.
then we create a template. So it is directly a template like in Kotlin.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to explicitly type what are the return types and input parameters that Kotlin is taking, that the function is taking. So that will be benefit much in our uh, product development and anything, because we don't have to write as much as code as compared to Java. And Kotlin is type safe also, so we don't have to explicitly type void or something, some return type or anything in any of the functions. So here's some basic addition functions, uh, and some display function. Okay, we will be covering this entirely in our Kotlin Koans part. You will also be coding the Kotlin stuff right there. So one more thing, there are some val and var things. Vals are basically constants and vars are basically variables. So if a variable is named as started with val, it is a constant. You don't change that. If you change that, there is a compilation error. And vars are basically mutable objects, so you can change them. But vals are immutable variables. So keep that in mind. Uh, as you can see, there is no type definition. We have to explicitly uh, say to the compiler that this thing is integer or this thing is a string. The Kotlin just do that stuff automatically to pick it up. And here is some if else conditions and while loop. There, as you can see, there is not a much difference over Kotlin and Java, but it gives you a little bit uh, um, code clarity, and we have to write less code as compared to Java in this Kotlin. And here is a class, how we can declare a class in Kotlin. And this is how we don't have to explicitly write new keyword to just get a class, and we can get this class and is a constructor over it. And Kotlin also gives us a much best APIs to get going with array list and set and map. So we don't have to explicitly type for creating a array list, so that uh, to get an array list we have to type array list some variable name equals to new array list of what data type it is. Kotlin just gives a list of API and a set of API like this to just get going with to create a list or to create a set or to create a map of anything. You can just, it also has the same APIs to and set the variables in array list. This num map has a API to get and to put some new data in that of string type to int type. So guys, let's get started with some hands-on session. Start with your Kotlin Koans course and feel free to ask any doubts in the launch as as Viren has said. Come to the launch and discuss your problems.
You have to do is in the Kotlin Koans option, click on Kotlin Koans. There will be some Kotlin Koans exercises. We'll resume the session. We'll go to the next module by 2. So in 22 minutes, do as many steps as you can. Sir, can you open up the Kotlin Koans page so that you can show them how to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it?
So okay. First you go to the Kotlin course, then you can just get started with introduction section. There is it will be covering a little bit about functions and stuff like classes and how to create uh, interfaces and all. So just get started with them. Here are some hello world string and sample functions. You can just go through it once. Okay. Uh, I hope you have a tab open with that Google Code link, so you can get started with the Kotlin codes. So we will be pausing this session and going to the launch. So if you feel free to come over there for doubts.
See you there.
Okay.
Hello, guys. I hope you had a good time in Kotlin Koans.
Um, so Nishit, you can go ahead, or if you guys want, we can also give some time in Kotlin call. I feel like some of you guys don't get going with Kotlins because most of you guys already have some doubts. You
Uh,
won't be
if
able
you
to.
guys, if you
Yeah,
guys
if
need
you
more
guys,
time, just let me know in the chat.
So should we go ahead, or we can give more time to Kotlin Koans if you wish?
I've generated a poll.
Okay.
You guys can just vote it out. I guess you guys need more time. It's
yeah, Harsh, we
the
can't
voting
give
is
you
there.
1 week though.
Actually, we are also having a time constraint because
Yeah, sure.
this
Let's
Okay,
just
sure.
delay this 10 minutes and then we'll
Yeah,
continue.
yeah.
yeah.
We'll just do it 10 minutes. If you guys, yeah, we'll just do 10 minutes. Sure.
Okay, sure.
You, I don't think you'll need more in depth learning for Kotlin. If you want, you can do those Kotlin cones a little bit later. You'll get an entire week for practicing all the things you have left out. We'll move on to the.
Okay. So, guys, now we'll start with building an Android app. I hope you all have installed Android Studio and including an emulator, so you can see what the Android app will actually look like on a phone. So I'll just share my screen now. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so here's where you'll start. Right, you need for a Hello World project. For a Hello World project, you need to create a project. Right, start with this, and mostly I use empty activity because it doesn't contain any like let's just say uh, unusable or unwanted codes. Right, so let's use an empty activity, and here's where you'll define your project name. Like for example, I'll just start with hello hello app, and this is the package name for your Android. Okay, so uh, take note of this, because if and when you suppose deploy an app on Play Store, this comes in handy for searching your app throughout the Play Store. Suppose you put here DSC. All right, so when you search DSC on the Play Store, you'll see that it's somewhere in the list along with other DSC apps. All right, so we'll start with dsc.hello. Right? And the language here is Kotlin. I mostly use API 16 because it starts with um, uh, Jelly Bean is the most basic, or otherwise you can start with Lollipop. I prefer Lollipop or Jelly Bean. That's the most because it covers most of the devices currently running. Right, I'll use Lollipop in this and then finish here now. So here you'll see this window creating up, and you can see this here Hello World Android project is created. Okay, it will take a time to run and configure your libraries. Just a second. Here you can see the Gradle building for your Android project. Okay. Now here is your main activity along with your main screen. Like mostly use split windows so you can see your code along with your design. Here is your Hello World app, and that's it. Now your Hello World app is ready, and if you've installed an emulator, you can just run this on your emulator. I'll just run it and show it to you. See here, it's building right now, and it will take um half a minute or so to build the whole project, and then it will be automatically launched on the emulator. So here, this is what a Hello World app would look like. So let's move on to the next topic, which is creating an interactive app. All right. In this, we'll be creating a dice roller app, which will mainly be used for creating a random dice roller. Okay. So let's start with a new project again. If anyone has a doubt, you can raise your hand.
Nishit sir, I guess they have to do the hands-on for this.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Just do this and we'll continue.
So if we'll go to the develop the link to the slash study jams link, you'll see the first code lab. Nishit, let me share.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my screen is visible now. This is the first one that you have to do: install Android Studios. You just followed the path, right? You have to go to the unit one and then build your first app. You have to explore, click on explore, and then you'll get two code labs. The first one is install Android Studio, and the second is getting started. So you have already installed Android Studio, so you don't need to do this. You can jump directly to getting started. In getting started, you can just click on take code lab. When you click on take code lab, a code lab will come out to you. What you have to do, just follow these steps, go on following these steps, read everything. These will be what you learn about it, what are the main project templates and stuff. Go on to this and go till homework, and then in the way of going there, if you have any doubts, you can ask out to us. Cool. I'll give you times. We'll just go out to the lab.
Hey guys, welcome back. So now we'll be starting with how to build an interactive app. As you all know, I discussed it previously, and we'll be starting with creating a roller app. And if you want, you can continue with me. All right, let's just yeah. I'll start sharing. Okay, so here it is. Mm, Creating a new project with a blank activity. Right, it has many activities. For example, scrolling, basic, empty, bottom navigation, login activity, maps activity. We'll just start with an empty activity for now, and we'll name our app Dice Roller. Okay, and this Android legacy supports are for pre, running your Android X on previous versions. Okay, I'll start this, finish. Okay, so now here, as you can see, this is our main activity. This is where the uh, app will start. We can change our default activity by going to manifest. Here, as you can see, every activity is registered in a manifest. Okay, so if you wanna change your main activity to, suppose, let's call it uh, let's call it an splash screen. Okay, so what you need to do here is create a new activity, empty activity, as we discussed previously, empty activity, and then in its tag for where it is splash activity, you just put the intent filter there rather than in the main activity. Okay, and I'm not doing that right now because we only need one screen. I'll just start. Here is your hello world screen, and here is your content. Okay, now we'll start. Have you guys seen uh, the interactive project screen, like for the dice roller? Has any of you seen it? You guys can comment in chats. Hello, anyone?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me just share that link here. Yeah, just go to this screen and you'll see the app overview of what we'll be building in a basic project. Okay, let's just see this screen once and then we'll start. Comment in chat if you're done with that. Okay, sure. Now we'll start with creating what we needed. In here, activity main, we'll remove this text view. Right, this is a text view. We'll remove this text view and we'll start with the button. If you it's autofill, we'll use wrap content for it, and then we, we are done with our button. We'll create ID is used for linking our button back to the Java Kotlin file. Therefore, we'll use role button. Okay, let's just name it role button. We'll put it in the center first. Let me just roll back this. What we could have done there is just replace this with button, and here our button is created. Role button plus id slash, yeah. So our button here is created, and what we need is another text view above it for displaying the number which we got, right? So we'll here role text and we'll say top of, we'll here constraint bottom to top of, we'll add the id of role button here, role button. So it will come above role button. Okay, and we'll constraint to the left of, constraint right to the left of parent. Okay, and constraint right of, this is all handled in here. So the button is the text view is in center now, and bottom we've already added top constraint. We'll now add bottom constraint. Bottom constraint, that will be parent. Here, so we can see our text view here. I'll just add some text. Rolling dice. So as you can see here, we got a rolling dice, and we'll push the button here as roll. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to keep this IDs in mind and then create a button here in our Kotlin file. Val with the name and button type. Okay, and we'll for linking any button from XML file to our Kotlin file, we'll use find view by ID. Okay. And now for rolling our dice, we'll create a function. Function roll dice, which will create a toast. This comma, we'll need a message. Suppose we write it as button clicked, and for a duration of toast dot length long. Long is the duration of which the toast will be created. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll call the road button on, we'll create a set on long listener. and we'll call this function roll dice. Sorry, yeah, here we'll call this function roll dice. Now we'll run this and see. See, here is a rolling dice app, and if we click on roll, you can see here that the button clicked, which we created a toast. Okay, so we'll move on. Now what we need to do is change the text of our text view when the dice is rolled. Okay, so we'll create a roll text button and in its text view. Okay, and we'll find the view by id, which will be r.id.roll text, which we created. Since we need to change our text in this function, we'll create the value here only, and we'll set the text roll text dot text to dice rolled. Yeah. And again, if we run our window, we'll see that this text will change to dice rolled. Here, text changed. Therefore, we can do it by do this by creating a variable called roll text and assigning it to the text view which we created in XML file here. Okay. So as you can see here, device roller app. So next we'll move on to how to create a random variable. Val random text is equals to 1 6 dot random. Here it will create a number from 1 to 6 on a random. And suppose we'll assign this role text dot text is equals to random text dot to string. Since this this will be assigned as an integer, we'll convert this into string and run that. So let's run that, and as you can see here, operation is roll, and you can see I rolled once, so it is 6, 4, 5. It is creating a random number from 1 to 6. Okay. Next, what we'll do is we'll assign images every time the roll button is clicked for every integer. So let me just copy the images. You'd ask where we need to copy those. We need to copy this in a drawable folder. Here we'll need to copy this on a drawable folders. Copy this. Let me just copy these images. Paste. Be sure to put it in drawable rather than drawable version 24. We'll discuss that later, how it is important. Yeah, so here we have our 5 images. As you can see the previews, dice 1, dice 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and here's an empty dice photo. Okay, moving on. Now what we need to do is add an image view rather than the text view. This was text view, so we'll just make it as an image view, and rather than text we need to do as src. Src would be empty dice, right? So here you can see on the screen that an empty dice has appeared. Empty dice image has appeared. Okay. Now we'll go to Kotlin, and since it's not available now, we'll image view. Now role text is role image. we still need this random text as to generate the image, right? Now we'll assign these images to a drawable variable. Drawable resource, and we'll use the when function as we use random text, and we'll use one to return one r dot id dot drawable dot dice one. Okay, two to return r dot drawable dot dice two. Similarly for every number, dice 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, and at the end we'll use an else condition for 6. So now what we'll do is we'll set the image role text dot set drawable to a drawable image. Here, why is it showing an error? Set image resource. Since we're using a resource ID rather than a drawable, we'll use image resource. And we'll run this, and let me just share you this here. And see here, when we click on role, it creates an image of 2. Again, create a 3, 6, something like this. So our dice roller app is now completed. If anyone has any questions or something related to this, you can ask in either chat or you can raise your hand. I'll stop sharing my screen, right? And if anyone have any doubts, you can ask in chats or in question box, and we'll be happy to answer.